Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Super Kaiju line from Super7, exclusive to Target. I've got these guys opened up out of the box, and I have some thoughts on them. Here we have the Super Kaiju Wave 1, Godzilla 89, and Mechagodzilla 93 here in their packaging. Now, first things first, I do want to talk about the packaging because I feel as though, as usual, Super7 absolutely nails it. Their packaging team does such a great job in making you feel like you're about to open something that's really, really cool. So there's the logo right there, Super Kaiju, lots of holographic tampos all over the packaging. On the back, we have caution, the city is crumbling, and then we have the message, build your own city ruins with destroyed building accessories, one included in each Super Kaiju figure. Collect them all. Godzilla 89, Mechagodzilla 93. We've got the same thing across both packages, but we're not here for packages, we're here for figures, so let's get these opened up and take a look. Really struggling to get Mechagodzilla out of the packaging here. I'm not sure if I'm just like missing a strap, but based on the building piece, I feel like he's just really in there. So give it a little bit more. Yeah, I wasn't missing a strap. He was just really, really stuck in there. And here we are with Mechagodzilla and Godzilla opened up and out of the packaging. Now, they do come with accessories. This is a build-a-building in sort of a style reminiscent to Crumble Zone playsets and accessories of the past. So if you get both figures, you get to build the building before you knock it right back down. So taking a look at these figures a little bit more up close, you can see that they are very, very reminiscent of the Ultimates figures. They basically look like the Ultimates figures scaled down, and they're a little bit more limited in articulation. But one thing that these have that Ultimates do not have is the hinged jaw. The hinged jaw has finally made it into a Super7 product, not counting the Super Cyborg Mechagodzilla, but the hinged jaw is here, and it looks pretty good. I know that some of the design philosophy with the Ultimates is that when you articulate the jaw, you have to make cuts, and the cuts might not look that great, but honestly, at this scale, maybe it's just because it's smaller, I think the jaw looks good. I think it looks fine, and I'm able to finally get my biting motion with my Godzilla figure, so that's really great to see. So you've got the hinged jaw there, you've got the neck rotation here, the arms do come up about that far, which is really nice. And then you have the elbow joints that go about that far back, and then you get the 90-degree bend as well. No wrist articulation. Coming down to the legs, we've got hips that move out about that much, kick forward about that far, kick back about that much, knee bends about that much. We have ankle pivot up and down, wiggles as well. The tail is a bendy wire tail with a thick rubber exterior, so you can pretty much bend it however you really want it to go. We've been in this hobby long enough that we know bendy wires are not the longest lasting material in the world. It's there if you want to bend it. You know, you might be able to set it and forget it if that works for you. Moving over here to Mechagodzilla, we have a similar articulation scheme. We do have an articulated jaw, which is really, really nice. The head is on a swivel as well. Mine is actually a little bit looser than I would like it. You might even be able to hear the rattle. So that's okay. Arms do not come up very far at all. They come up about that far, and then they close in back on the body. You know, that's kind of a drag. I think every Mechagodzilla 2 figure sort of has a similar limitation, just due to the nature of the suit itself. Arms bend up that much, and they'll bend back about that far. Again, no wrist swivels. Hips, you can kind of see, they go up that far. In, out, in, out. Knees. My knee joints here are very tight, very stiff. Little bit of knee motion, not too much. The ankles here on mine are actually very stiff. I might actually have to heat treat that to get it to free it up a little bit. But Mechagodzilla 2 wasn't necessarily the most dynamic looking character on screen. He just kind of stood there and fired beams and, you know, sort of rocketed into things. So, yeah, there you have the articulation for Mechagodzilla 2. My Godzilla 89 is a little bit out of reach, but for size comparison, There is Mechagodzilla next to his Ultimates incarnation. Just for the heck of it, here is Godzilla next to the -1 color version. And here we have the Kong Skull Island Kong from Hiya Toys, and we have the Godzilla 2024 from SH Monster Arts here, just to give you a sense of how big these are. So one thing I neglected to mention in the review is that these guys do have the 4-arm swivel that the Ultimates figures had. Now that I've had a chance to open them up and play around with them, I've taken some photos of them, I gotta say that they do have a charm to them. I do like them. I do like the size. They do remind me a little bit of Trendmasters, although I didn't get too many of those when I was a kid. And one thing that's really funny, they actually look really good next to my Mezco 5 Points XL line, where the Mezco has a little bit more detail to it. The Super Kaiju line has articulation to it. So there's a little bit of give and take there with those. That doesn't bode well for this line, comparing it to Mezco, given that that line did not succeed at retail. And I hope that this continues, because I would actually be very interested in seeing more. And I'd be interested in seeing some improvements to the line. So the big elephant in the room, obviously, is the price. These are $35 US a piece. When you compare what you get here to Reaction, sitting at the $20 mark, the price does make sense, at least to me, a little bit more. On its own, because I do believe that this is a line that is primarily targeted at a younger audience who is just walking through Target and wants to pick up a cool Godzilla figure. On its own, I can definitely see folks struggling at the $35 mark. The fact that the building accessory is the only thing that really comes with the package is a bit of a drag. I don't feel like it's, adding, especially not at half a building. I don't think it's adding the most value to the package. As someone that does enjoy Super7's offerings at the $35 mark, I do like the figures. Now, they cost me significantly more than $35 to actually get to Canada. I would like to shout out Thomas. Thomas is a longtime viewer of the channel and actually longtime follower on Twitter since I was first getting started, and he's been helping me secure a lot of the stuff that's only available in the States. So thank you very much, Thomas. Sitting here paying the retail price plus a little bit more to actually get these shipped to Canada, there is a charm to it. I do like it, but I also think that $35 is the upper end of reasonable for these figures. Now, this being a Target exclusive means one of two things. Either Super7 was already planning to make these and Target saw that and decided to buy up all of the inventory, or it means that Target commissioned Super7 to make these for them and to basically just take control over the line itself and have it be a Target exclusive. In terms of things that I'd like to see moving forward with the line, I think that there's a lot of things we don't know about. It could be that $35 is a fixed point, like they can't budge away from that. It could be that the size and form factor of these is a fixed point based on licensing. They can't change that. So what can they change in the future moving forward that might get more folks interested in the line at the price and at this form factor? One thing I think right away is it needs a waist swivel. I think it absolutely needs a waist swivel. The Ultimates have them. The fact that it's not here, based on my understanding of toy manufacturing, I don't think it would cost too much more to add a waist swivel. The fact that the Ultimates have it and this doesn't, it just kind of stings a little bit. I don't necessarily need the wrist articulation at this size, but I think the waist articulation is a must, so I would really want to see that. As for the building, I think that each figure needs to come with a complete building that you can knock down. I get it that you include one in each package, and then it incentivizes folks to buy both and assemble the building and knock it back down. But I don't think that this is a big enough draw on its own to get people to buy a second $35 figure. I think that each figure needs to come with a building that you can break down. When you're selling a toy of a really cool kaiju, a really cool creature design, I don't think the building piece is going to be the thing that encourages folks to take the leap. Including a complete building in each figure would also help me assemble an environment and a diorama set. What am I trying to say? Shelf display a lot faster, right? If I'm getting one building with each figure, it helps me do that really quickly. And if I can get a set of buildings really quickly, that opens the door to more interesting accessories. Going off the whole Trendmasters idea, there's the unreleased battle armor sets and the vac metal that would look really cool on a Godzilla this size. I think at this form factor, you could do some really neat and fun things that might not be suitable for Reaction. Maybe Reaction is just too small to do it, and it might be too cost prohibitive at the Ultimate scale. At this scale, you could probably do some really cool things. And last is character choice. I could easily see this Godzilla being repainted into the Dark Horse colors, like that first San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and maybe you could do a Bagora to match that figure, because in ultimate scale Bagora would be ridiculously massive with that wingspan, but maybe the super kaiju scale allows you to test that idea a little bit better than, let's say, the reaction scale might. Based on what we've seen from these first two releases, yeah, you could probably be assured that this will follow the Ultimates line and we'll get a Burning Godzilla, a -1 maybe. But yeah, paint this guy green, give me Dark Horse, give me a Bagora, or better yet, give me -1 and give me a battleship that would actually work with it. Battleship in the ultimate scale would be far too big. A reaction might leave something to be desired, but at this scale, a battleship would be really cool to have with -1. In a world where these guys are sitting next to Bandai's new 5-inch Spark Doll line or the 6-inch articulated action figure line, these are gonna have to do something to stand out a little bit, and I think that there's room to improve the releases and increase the value proposition for customers. So to sum it up, I just think they're neat. They're definitely on the upper end and probably at the limit of what I think a reasonable price is, but I think that there is potential in this line to do some really, really fun things that maybe don't lend well to reaction or ultimates and will stand out from other figures on the pegs. That's going to be it for me, but I'm curious to hear from you. Are you going to be picking up the Super Kaiju releases from Super7, or is there something that you would like to see changed to them or added on that would make the $35 price point a little bit easier on you? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye!